everybody has seen the film. And I would like to introduce to you first François Wester, who is the director and one of the producers of the film. Then Mark Kaplan, documentary filmmaker himself and one of the producers of the film. And then Jowitz, who is a producer and distributor. So he's also one of the producers of the film. And then everybody knows Esther, she's selling this film. And I would like to start with François and ask him to give us in a couple of minutes perhaps what his original intention was, what his expectation was when he started to work on this project, and how far he thinks that this film now reflects his original intention.
Basically, this film started off in a shorter version. There was a arts magazine slot on SABC3 called But Is It Art? And they actually approached me to do a story about the history of the song with a very, very specific brief at the time. They wanted me to tell a story that just showed how Mbube developed into Wimbawe and then into The Lion Sleeps Tonight. They wanted music, they wanted talking heads. It was a very simple thing, 12 minutes. And in the process of doing that, I discovered that the whole story had endless, deeper dimensions, and that there were a whole lot of legal issues and political issues and socio-cultural issues going on here that we hadn't even managed to touch on, and there was a whole lot of things that people clearly didn't want to speak about. And it just seemed to me that there was a lot of scope for a much bigger film in this. I tried to get money for the film over a period of about 2-3 years. During this time I also met up with Rian Malan, who appears in the film. He was basically researching the story for Rolling Stone magazine in the States. And what we did is we pooled all our resources. I gave him all my tapes and he gave me all his research, all the legal documents and everything that he'd done. And we spoke about sort of going on with the film, and then eventually I got some money from the NWF and from SABC, or a letter of intent from SABC3. The project got accepted at the IDFA forum, and at that point Rapid Blue through Mark Kaplan and then Dan Jarvis with Ice Media came on board at that point. The original pitch for this film was pretty different in some ways to what we ended up with. I think you can look at the kind of theme that stayed the same, but in terms of the format of the film, that changed quite a lot during the whole process. Originally the idea was to do a film which was basically about a South African crew in search of a stolen African dream. This is the way we pitched it. And we were going to try to track down the people that had been involved in the story of the song, try to find out what really happened. It's a kind of a combination of a road movie and an investigative trip, and then add archive, add music, add the kind of visuals we thought would work, and try to find kind of links between the present and the past. As we went on developing the film, a couple of issues became clear. Firstly, that the issue of the voice of this film. I think I just came to a point personally where I realized that for me to go on this kind of journey trying to find out what happened to the song it just didn't feel right. It was a question of, it's not my direct outrage at the situation. Obviously as a South African you share that, but I just felt as a white person who was not directly affected by the situation, I couldn't claim the moral authority or the kind of outrage to kind of take up this issue directly. We spoke about various different ways of voicing the film, but then when we started doing the film, it just seemed very clear to us that there was so much documentary life, there was so much in the present in this film. For example, the scenes we have with Joseph Shabalala at home and then them singing. But we thought the film, in a sense, should in a way celebrate the song more. So in a sense, it went from being an investigative film to more of a sense of a celebration of the song, a kind of look at how the song still plays a very active role in all these people's lives, while at the same time telling the story of cultural appropriation and commodification, or Western commodification of African products. So the film probably ended up being, I suppose, in a sense, more musical and more lyrical and more abstract than we thought at the beginning. And at the beginning we were going to be far more of a kind of a straightforward BBC-style film with history and archive. And also the point for us was just that the story had been told in the Rolling Stone article. All the kind of legal shenanigans, all the complexities around the song had been explained very, very effectively in Rian's article, and we didn't want to be recreating the film you know, we didn't want to be recreating a kind of a filmic version of an article that had already been written. I mean, so there was a kind of a attempt to try to sort of celebrate the kind of, I suppose, the documentary quality, the documentary reality of the present, while at the same time trying to tell the story of the